He definitely has some heat tolerance issues.
As they tend to. They're like, we were
I
designed.
think Gaby wants to get out of third level so she doesn't have to ride at 3 p.m. every day. That's when they always have third level, I feel like. Here. Fourth level sometimes is in the morning.
That would be good.
Yeah, that would be good.
That would make a big difference.
Okay. All right, so when you're ready, let's go back up to canter. Yeah, exactly. You keep sharpening him as you need to, that he has to just stay that little bit more responsive than he'd actually like to be. And then I want you to go ahead and put him in the little haunches in. Yeah, in the canter. And just on this side circle is fine. Yeah. Good. And can he keep, yeah, a little more rhythm. Always this is really hard.
I'm Reyner.
Yeah. Good.
I want your shoulders.
There you go. Good job. Good. And can you work on the spot actually where you've done a really good job of keeping your leg down so you're not using it all the time, and now I feel like you're going to have to put your leg on and demand a little bit more of a response. Does that make sense? So that when he comes into that, he has to a little bit more like shorten up his abs and be willing to take your leg.
Okay.
And I like the training of like you have to keep going with no leg, because I know it can really suck you guys into using too much leg. But I feel like there's also got to be a spot where you feel like go ahead and walk for a second. Good. And walk him into it. Come on. Yeah, be soft here. And then I want you to canter. And I want you to canter for like, I don't know, a quarter of a circle and then walk again. Yeah. And I want you to, yeah, exactly. I want you to a little bit think about believing that when you put your leg on and you use your spur, that he can respond. Does that make sense? Even though he doesn't want to or whatever, that when you say, okay, like leg on, squeeze, that you want to feel this like response to it. Does that, yeah, come on. There you go, right idea. And now put your leg on again and say, come on. Like if I say, yeah, exactly, then you can get quiet. Now bring that back a little bit, but you're gonna have to be able to do that like within pirouette. Does that make sense? Or between changes, that there's gotta be this feeling that if I put my leg on and say, response, you have to pick yourself up and respond to it, right? So you've trained yourself to really be able to not use your leg too much. And now I want you to be super conscientious that like, when I use my leg, like it really has to mean do this so that I can help activate you within coming back, within collecting. Because I think what I see when you come back is you don't have an ability to say like, come on, I want you to be faster within this. Like I want you to keep a little bit more energy. You do a very good job balancing and saying, come back here. But if we, better. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah, and then be able to ride out and close your leg and put your spur on versus just a bump. Like the bump is very important, right? And then there's also got to be this like, if I put my leg on, if I squeeze you a little bit, you got to respond to that. That's better. So there you just changed a little piece in his top line. Can you feel that?
Yeah.
Good. Hind legs under because you can close your legs. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Good. Good. Now bring it back to walk again. Better when you're ready. Better. Yeah. Yeah. And we have to go to the bathroom. Maybe.
Right there.
Nope.
No? All right, walk on. Go the other way. And so the other thing that we need to practice a lot of painfully is a lot of those canter to walks, okay? And that he has to take a little bit more weight to pull them off so that it feels actually a bit more like a few steps of pirouette. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
To go down to walk. Because I think that for you guys also, you know, sometimes when you have a horse that gets slow, it's not all about like, you know, just chasing them to say, stay quicker. We need to train in the quicker responses, but then we also need to get it to where you could do like walk pirouette to canter pirouette, and canter pirouette to walk pirouette, and then canter from walk again in that pirouette. So that that same, like, I put my leg on and you take a canter stride is always available to you. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Let's go the other way. And I think, I would venture to guess, it's actually all a little bit related to that place when you say, you know, my timing's a little off in the changes. It can be hard to find exactly the right timing for the change if you don't feel like he's going to have a fairly instantaneous reaction to when you ask. Does that make sense? Like if you're kind of trying to time it within like this or that, and he responds at a little bit different timing each time you ask, it can leave you a little like, I'm really off on my timing. And maybe the timing could be better,
Good boy.
but it's easier to find good timing if he actually responds when you ask. Good. Now give him a squeeze. And yeah, hey, now bring that back. So that power you just got going towards the bridle, then we want to be able to reel that back through his spine under his hind legs so that he would feel more like, you know, when you go to collect, like a motorcycle wanting to like pop a wheelie a little bit. Good. Yeah, one more time. We'll squeeze up to it. Yeah. Response. Good. And then bring it back towards walk. But I want you to think, put your leg on. Let his hind legs canter up underneath him and then walk. Yeah. On the butt. Right? And now canter again. Right away. Yeah. That he's got to be a little responsive. And it may feel just that little bit like you want enough time to prepare. But part of it is he needs to be that little bit more just ready to go. Good. And canter. Yeah. And now walk again. Good one. Yeah, not on his head and canter. Yeah, right idea. Good. And back on the hind leg. Being able to say canter underneath. Good job. Right idea. Right idea. And then walk again. And canter again. I know. He says, are you kidding?
He said, I'm discombobulated.
Yeah, and part of it is he wants that little bit more time, and we don't want to rush him off his feet, right? Like he has to have time for his steps, but he has to be a little bit more like, okay, I'm ready to go. I'm participating to like, yep, and yeah, right, like that's correct. And I know that it's a little, he's like, are you kidding me? Right? But he has to be just that little bit more there for you, right? And walk into it, not hind legs planted. Yeah, exactly. So that in that down transition, you have more ability to ride him forward, hind legs under, and then say canter again. Yeah, good. Does that make sense? So that he has to stay that little bit more like, yep, on the ready, and that coming back, yeah, there you go. Doesn't matter. Good job. But that was a good shape. Good. Because you've got to be able to feel like he stays pushed up in front of your seat as you bring him back into the collection. We'll give him a little walk right here. Good boy. I'm thinking about it. It's a process. Good. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay. Because I think that that would be a lot of where I would just start with him and you guys of like, how do you start to say, in front of me, yet I get to bring you back, right? Give him a little break and then we'll finish it out. Do you have any questions so far?
I just brought it back.
If you see Bobby, ask her about the black casket. Black
The
casket.
guys have it. They keep them in there. Outside, they're
out.
we were talking how well back. Let me ask. We'd be better off getting them. I
already asked her for toilet paper.
She brought it. I know we went through so much yesterday. It was so busy and we used 2 rolls to clean, you know, and do stuff. So we went from having 2 full rolls out and 2 full rolls back up to
Yeah, 3 o'clock, not exactly. Fun, right?
For who?
Okay. When you're ready, you can go back up to Cannon. And then I want to look at just a few single changes. And we might come back to this. Or you might, and this is something you can kind of throw in. Does that make sense? That the doing the transitions and just being able to say I could put these anywhere and you need to be able to go down and right back up again. Right? And that sometimes that can be like if you're in a moment where you're like, I don't feel like he's in front of my leg, that you're training, like sometimes dull horses do better with like that, like a lot of transitions all the way down and then you really have to respond versus you're just trying to make him sharp within where he is. And it's a combination of everything. It's never going to be just one, yeah? And do it again. Good job. Up in front of you. Hup. Right there. So you don't get to hang out behind me. Yeah, that's okay. Yeah. And it is probably you're doing a good job. It's gonna make him get a little squashed into the bridle here and there, right? And you just keep sort of finding the balance of like, no, you can't you can't grab the bits and you can't be unsupple, but you can't go behind me to be supple. Yeah, add there. Good, add. Add up. Yeah, there you go. Because sometimes the spot where he gets a little too tough, does that make sense? You actually need to add to it to get him to let go. Yeah. Good. Good. Yeah. Good. Add again. A little more jump in that hand. There you go. Good. Correct. Good. Okay, then take it out and show me a single change somewhere. Good leg. Put it up, put it up, put it up, put it up. That's it. Come on. But now be a little sassier. One more add. Good. Okay, and then go on a short diagonal. And do a single change and try not to waggle too much. He's sharper. You got it. Look at that. That's okay. No problem. Okay, one more time. I prefer that than like dull. Good. Good. Come on. Yeah, it's fine. Go do a couple more. Okay, you don't get to back up to be behind me to get it done. Yes, you have to have that energy. There you go. Right, okay, good. Hackle, right? Have to have a few training moments. Good. Yeah? Go a couple more times. I want you to just think, make sure that he's a little bit more off, like in this case, like your right leg, and he's up into your left rein, and hold your left rein, and tackle as part of your change. Down, yeah, smart riding. Good job. He's like, nope. Good. Correct. Good job trusting your feel. Huh? Good. Yeah, now hold. Okay, so when did you ask? Okay, so, yeah, I want you to think about, right up to it, you're doing a good job. I want you to think about having them 1 inch rounder, a little more round, a little more control of the neck, yeah? Yeah, that was better because you have to have a little bit more the front end and the back end. Does that make sense? So that there's a little bit more like compressibility between, on the bed. No, sir. Take your time, on the bed. Right? He's got a little let go of the spot. He wants to stick his head in the air to do the change. Good. Good. Hold the reins on the bed. Because when you aid the change, you need to feel a little bit more like you get to aid the change all the way through. Fine, doesn't matter, all the way through his body, and that you don't have to drop the outside rein to get it done. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Couple more. Like he has to stay a little bit more. Yeah, come, put your leg on. Like that you can push him a little rounder. Work through that. Work through that. Stay in counter, counter. Sorry, sir. In counter, counter. Go in a 20-meter circle. Oh, I know, this is hard. Good. Good. A little rounder. 1 notch. Yep. Yeah. Come on. Pull from your left leg. Good. I know. Good. Good. Yep. Yep. Come on, friend. Good. Correct. Correct. Yeah. That's okay. So go back the other way for a second. So what I feel like is showing up is the spot where he has to let you push him more through his body. Does that make sense? Like, and I know that that's sort of a hard spot. He's like, this is really, really tiring, that he has to get shorter on his outside hind and like rounder on your outside rein, and that you can take this smaller spot and kind of push energy back and forth in there. And he's a little like, I'm really happy if I'm about this long and like soft and loose. And the spot where when we start to come to the pirouettes and stuff, and you say, how about less space? And how about like take this a little more directly? He's like, wait a second, then I have to go right through the middle of my back. So that's kind of, yeah, okay, right up like this. All right, so counter again. So you're doing really good. Yeah. Working on the nitty-gritties here, because within this shorter spot, like put your leg on. This is the spot I'm talking about how he kind of, yeah, he a little bit talks you into making him round. Come, like he's got to take, yeah, come on, come on, come on, come on. Do that. I know it's a little messy. Good, and then try and loosen up front. Good. Tuck, leg on there. Just back up. Yep, good job. Okay, diagonal. Oh, sorry, buddy. On the bit, on the bit. 2 legs, on the bit. Yeah, come on. Come on. Yeah, there you go. On the bit. Yeah. Yeah. And to me, this is the spot you have to actually use your leg a little. I see you come around, and I feel like your feet are pretty far away from him. Like, make sure that your leg is part of the, yeah, that looks better. Part of the channel for your steering onto that line. Yeah, good, yeah, correct. Yeah, good, come, put your leg on. He's got to let you through the base of the neck. There, better. Yeah. Good. Good. Come right there. Good. Yeah. And so, okay, so for me, go ahead and go back and do that one more time. There's just a spot. You've got to have a little bit more of the feeling that, like, you stay sat, like he stays a little bit more packaged, right? And that you feel a little bit like when you go to ask for the change, that you really, it has to stay a circuit. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
You can't just sort of like eat out into the oblivion and pray. I realize I'm
Can't
not
stop
sitting,
writing.
I'm not sitting on him, so it's way easier for me to be like, yeah, do this. Like, but you've got to like think the can of rhythm stays the same. Come on, come on, come on, come on. Yeah, yeah, I don't care. Come. Say the can of rhythm stays the same. You can't just back out on me, sir. Come. Can of rhythm stays the same. I know he thinks he's dying. Come, put your leg on. Like, yeah, there. Half halt, yeah, okay. And then you've got the step that you, right before you want to change, one more time. You have to hold your reins a little bit because I think you put your 8 on and you let him out the front rather than saying like, half halt, change now. Yeah, oh, he was pooping. Dang it. I feel like you were trying to respond at the right time. You were about to have that one. That was very good. Okay. Yeah, come on. Come on, buddy. There you go. Sorry, sir. Oh, he says. There you go. Come on, come on, come on. On the bit, on the bit, on the bit, on the bit. Yeah, on the bit. Take your time. Yeah, right brain puts him on the bit too. Oh, that's really hard. Yeah, smart. Yeah. Yeah, it's okay. He's got to let you lower him with that right rein. Yeah. Yeah. So you guys are really getting the pick of it here today. Come on. Yeah. Yeah. You stick it out. He can do it. He doesn't want to do it. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Make your circle a little bigger. Find some momentum. Good. There. Good. Right rein. On the bit with the right rein. Yeah. Come on. And forward. Good. Come on. Come on, Sid. You have to a little bit out-stubborn him here for a second. Keep going. It's like, you gotta be kidding me. Good. Yeah. Use the whole rein for a second. Good job. Come on. Yeah. He's gotta get down on the right rein and loose. And letting go. But not letting go because you back off on telling him that he has to use his butt. Come, right leg. Come, kick. Quicker. There you go. Right side. Yeah. Come on. Come on. Come on. Yeah. Come on. Yeah, correct. Come on. Stick it out. Energy right there. Because he's very good at when you say come through, he backs off. Or you say go, and he says, okay, but not on the bit. Too bad. Come on. Trot. Trot then. Yeah. Yeah, he has to lower. Come trot. Come on. Good. Yeah, work through that. He needs to actually let you lower him down through the right and soft. Good. And then, yeah, I can see that. He's really convinced that this is going to work for him. Good. Good. Ask and then give him space, but he has to let go a little bit. I realize that's not usually in the Frisian playbook, but good. Good. Yeah. Come. Come on. Go forward. Let's go away. Sorry, tail. I know. Yeah, good, better. Huh? Yeah, there, that's better. That's getting better. Okay, up to you. You can give them a walk break or you can put them back up to canopy. Huh? Yeah, yeah, well, I think he needs a little bit of that. I think he can feel a little sorry for himself. And we can feel sorry for him, but I think you can make him round on the right rein and not have him run through your right leg. Come. And like you have to be able to add in that spot. He's very convinced that if he leans on your right side enough, come, like he's got to go forward right there when you touch that right there. Come on. Yep. Come on. Good. Good. Yeah, go, come. Yeah, yeah. He's like, I don't want to step through that. Good boy. Use the whole reining again for me. So you get a little straight shot sometimes. Yep, come forward. Kick him harder. Yep, there you go. Kick him again. Yeah, you've got to find a little bit better answer. Okay, long side. Come, Ab. Give him a kick. Come on, give him a kick. He's got to understand. There you go. Come on. Yeah. Good job. I know. Good. Okay, come on the diagonal. And same thing. He's not allowed to run out your right rein. Come forward, forward, forward. He doesn't get to change the canter because you go on the diagonal. There you go. Come forward. There you go. Come on. I know. Give me a kick. You're almost done. There you go. I know. Diagonal again. Good. Good. Come on. Going for extra points. Yeah. Yeah. It's okay. Try. Keep trotting. Keep trotting for a second. Yeah. Come. That's it. He has to keep moving his feet. Come on, Dave. Good job. Okay. Change directions one more time. Good. Better. Yeah. Round through the right. Good. Come, trot. Yes, round. Yes. Good. Round through the right. Yeah, come on. It's not forward or through. It's through from forward. And round on the back. Come on. Not out his right shoulder. Good. Good. Come forward and soft. Forward and soft. That's it. Good job. Okay, give him a little, yeah, good. Okay, go canter and then go around the ring one time and then we'll go back on the diagonal for the change. Come forward, forward, come on, more. He's just got to respond in that spot because when he blocks you out that much, there you go. He makes it a or the neck or the forward. Yeah, come, put your leg on. And that's that same as the canter walk spot. Yeah, good. He doesn't change the canter. Good. Okay. Get your change. Hold the right eye now. He's trying to die. Come. Right up to it. Carry him through it if you have to. Good. Ooh, okay.
Reyner.
I know. Let's give him a break. He needs a break.
He's like, I'm gonna
We got it close enough, right? So, and not that you guys don't know this, but that's for sure the spot, I think, right? Which is just this place of like, and it's hard. It's a little bit hard with the breed for sure. But it is this spot of, and it's not that I want you to have to hold him and drive him at the same time, right? Because I know that that is the spot where he can feel blocked. But there is a spot that shows up there where it's like, oh, when I add and I close at the same time, you really don't let that come all the way through your back. Does that make sense? And you need to be able to do it for a second and have this like, yes, and I stay forward. And yes, like if you close the rein, like that is a little bit more genuinely underneath. And I think he can do it. He doesn't want to do it, right? Like to me, a lot of that has to do with like, I'm big and I'm a little stubborn and you know this is a little hot, but like I'm good at giving you enough, but you know just like that's a lot there, that whole like full core engagement. And a few times he let go of something and his middle changes shape. I don't know if you can feel it, and then all of a sudden he looks like he could be like a more powerful horse, or that it gives him a little bit more powerful feeling. I'm not sure if that's true or not, but that's what I see at least.
No, I think it's a good one. It does feel like that, like
Yeah.
more there.
Yeah. And it's like a place too of like, we don't want him too tight in the hand because obviously this is his body hit, but he, to be more genuinely responsive forward taking your aids, he has to let the two ends be able to, the current from two ends meet through his body. And I think he's good at not doing that. Yeah. Right, sir?
Yes.
Shoot.
You're actually sweating.
Yeah.
Does it
Hey.
know what?
He doesn't.
That he doesn't.
He's actually, it's been better lately though.
Sweater? Or like
No.
he just doesn't like lift his foot enough to truly.
No, he gets really overheated actually.
Okay.
Yeah, but it's been better. We found these patches, what are they called?
Oh yeah, the ones that go on his butt.
Yeah.
I've seen
And
those.
this is the second year she's used them, and he's been sweating more than he ever has.
That's awesome.
Yeah, I think they actually help. I
Might
have
be
no
a
idea
case.
how they work, but
Might
Yeah.
be a case study, yeah, you need to give your
But
feedback.
he's
Give your feedback.
Poor thing.
but it's fine.
oh, Equal Winner, I think that's
What is it?
Equal Winner.
I'll go get pictures of this. We had, I mean, like,
But yeah, she did.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. Right. Have some nerve endings here. All right, let's give him another second, and then we're going to do some trot. We might be a little cantered out for today, but we can.
Maybe.
She's gonna run every day.
You're here every day, so we can work on it more.
but it won't be long. No. They'll do them. Stand up. Yes.
Wake us up every day at like 4:30 a.m. I know. So we have a
The starlings?
nest on our
Or the
desk.
robins?
Whatever is at our house, like
Probably robins and blue jays.
they wake up at 4:30 or 4:45. They're we've got some
Start to wake you up. We get so brave. You're okay.
nest on our deck right outside our bedroom. Yeah. At 4:30, and then they go back to bed. They do. And I'm like, but I'm not now. And they're dogs. I know. I'm happy for them. It's just like, it's just like,
I know, it's gonna calm down.
Under.
What
He's like, this is abusive.
is wrong with you, Passion?
It'll settle down because the robins are fledging, the starlings are all fledging. You know, we have our first fledging. Swallows now hatching. They've all been hatching.
And again, I want you to start to think about, yeah, he's got to respond to the bumps, but he's also got to respond to like, if you go foot, squeeze, spur, his back's got to come up, his tummy's got to go under, his hind leg's got to come underneath you, and he's got to be like, okay, like I'm here. That's it. Good. That was good. That was a good reaction. For a few steps. Okay, so now we just go around in the trot and work on the same idea basically here, which is like you need to feel like you can sit up there like a goddess and put your leg on and have responses, and that he's gotta give, and he's gonna give just a little bit more. That sometimes I think you have to stick with your bends a hair longer, like you're good at loosening them and getting them off, and I think that's important. But then I think there's a spot where he's got to let go. One more shot. Good. And you can keep a bend without like blocking backwards. Does that make sense? Like you should, that's it. Come. Trot. More trot. Come on. You just have to work harder today. Come on. More trot. More trot. That's your trot. Good. Good. And then straighten. Good. Hey, that was good. And then a soft hand that you can ride towards. More trot. Not less trot. There you go. Good. Change direction. More trot. Yeah. And part of that for you is like, you have to have like your Red Bull, and it's not that like you should be going fast and he should be going slow, but like having your mind, like it has to be that much trot, yeah? What is his Ryan? He looks like he is both tall right and left out the right shoulder.
He feels braced on the right.
Okay, he does feel braced on the right. Okay. Okay. Yeah, okay, right. So
He
he
is really good at just
yeah,
you know,
yeah. Good.
more often.
Yeah. Well, it's important skill to have, like even if we need to work it more through. Good. That's a good try. Okay, so I want you to change directions again. And I was just asking Greta some questions about like how he is in his neck and in the contact because
It's hard to get into, give you the right,
pulley arch.
half pass right, lunges in right,
Yeah.
all of that.
Yeah.
And it's pretty easy to get it to that.
Yeah. So when you're working on your right bend, I want you to really look at like a little bit like inside eye and really notice, does he, when you ask for right bend, let his right jaw tuck in and do all of his little vertebrae in his neck pop to the left? Or is there like a squiggle in there? Is there a spot where his head goes right but actually not all the little vertebrae pop into the left? The latter, yeah? Okay, so come on down this way. So I want you to really focus on, okay, where exactly are the little vertebrae? Where exactly in his neck? Is it like, oh, he's faced this way and now he's faced the other way? Yeah, okay, so now can you get really specific with your bends and your intentions on like, can you feel your way through? Can you guide that a little bit more through there and kind of really say like, yeah, when I want bend, I just don't want the whole neck to respond. I really specifically want it to go through this spot. Yeah? And yes, a little bit, take your right leg. And you might have to like put him a little bit in like a leg, like shoulder in-ish feeling here off the right for a second. He doesn't get to go way slower. Not happening. Shoot, he says, that's my answer, yeah? He doesn't have to run, but he does have to, that's it. Good. Yeah. Good job. Yeah, come. One more try. Not one or the other. Yeah, has to be easy try. Good. Come. Good. Change directions now. He's like, but when I do that, I have to use my butt more. Good. It's all right. Good. Good. Okay, so now think about the same thing this way, and maybe you still have to work him through the right. So imagine you're still going right, working through the right side, and can you still get him to, yeah? Good. Yeah, and if it slows down a hair like that, I'm not too worried. There you go about that. That's it. Yeah. Good. And can you still get him to go a little bit more through your right rein, like what we ran into in the canter, trying to get him around on your right rein when it was the outside rein, because it's hard to get him straight. And he has to, you got to think about like the arch in the neck and where are all the little vertebrae that, yeah, and that it is a smooth arc, that he doesn't have a bunch of squiggles in his neck, and you got to stick with it that little bit. Good. And then you can soften that he can have a hair more space. Yeah. Can you take his shoulders a little left? No. Through the right. Yeah, keep trying. Just keep the feet moving. There. Good. It's okay. It's okay. So that's really hard. Yeah. Good. A little straighter. Go through the right rein again. A little more tempo. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. Yeah, I know. Just a little hard. Come. And you have to find, like, what's the productive neck placement bend? Like, too much gets in your way, too little doesn't make you effective. Good. Yeah. Yeah. Stick it out. Good. Good. There you go. There you go. Good. Now go right. Good. Yeah, stick with it, yeah. So you still have to work through this, and you have to have one trot. Good. Good. That's better. Now trot more forward. And say just trot more forward. That's it. So he gave you actually a little bit bigger step there. Probably not like easy enough yet. Good. Come. Trot. Trot. Hey, okay. Come down the long side. What does that feel like?
Good.
Okay, what's
I
good?
like I got more suspension.
Yeah, so you just started to finally let go of something. I don't know quite what it is. And stick with that just that little longer. Then you think on the right, really, when he's locked on the right, you've got to do your little like analysis of the vertebrae in his neck, right? So that you have to really like process, like, is he kinking? Do we have zigzags in the neck? And you've got to stick with that right bend and work through the zigzags by keeping him a little bit more smoothly to the one side until you can get those things to release. There you go. Good. 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 Change directions one time. That's better. Well done. Just like, oh. Good. Good. Okay. Now let's just see it a little bit as we track left. We're almost done. Hopefully we'll have horse for the next 2 days. Good. 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 Okay, and then maybe you get to switch it to left bend now. And we see what we have there. Yeah, and you keep a receiving outside rein. Better. Good. And you do your same little vertebrae analysis this way. Good. Huh? Good. There you go. Good. Big circle. Good. What does he feel like there, other than tired?
Feels good.
Okay.
Feels better. Still a little bit of resistance.
Yeah. Okay. When there's resistance, stick with it a little bit longer, rather than kind of like poking at it and sort of getting bounced off of the spot that he's tight. Because it's like he's tight, and it's like it's a little bit like someone having a tight muscle in their neck or like a knot. If you just sort of ping at it, you're going to bounce off that sort of rock hardness. If you come in with a slow, steady pressure, and it can be, you know, a lot of pressure, but like then you have to wait kind of for that to release a little bit more. Go ahead. Good job. Oh, good. Good. Right idea. Good. That's it. Good job. Good. Okay. Then when you are pretty happy with it, then you can let him be done. But you pick the spot. Good. Good job. He's like, you're really kidding me, people. Does that make sense?
Yes.
Okay. Not the easiest work, but it's dressage, so.
Yes. Well, I haven't ever really thought of that, like just looking at the vertebrae and
Yeah.
thinking about it.
Well, because he looks like what, I don't even quite know what he does. It's like, he's like this, and then leans in the shoulder, and then like you bend, but like his jaw kind of sticks out like this.
Yeah, it's a funky.
He's like that, and it's like, okay, well, you know, he's both, it's a bit tricky, you know, like, because he's not doing what you would call like the full bulge, where he goes like hollow left and just leans right. Like it's a little snake system in there, and that can make it quite tricky. You do a very good job of like managing it, but the spot where it's like, okay, could we actually like compress on that and then have it release and let go and make it at least to where it feels a bit more like he's a little simpler, like they're always going to be, you know, better one way or the other. But if it could just get like a tick more straightforward within that, I feel like that would help. And it was interesting how his trot started to change. You got like this little bit bigger, less plotty step. Good job, good riding.
Gabby, will you stop it? And I'm gonna put Martha's card